Tsolkas, let me ask you, can you give us some good examples of organizations or enterprises that use the purpose in a sense that is well perceived?
Yeah. First of all, purpose in my books is simply the impact our product or service is playing on people's lives. And when we talk about corporations, this goes beyond profit and beyond the pursuit, let's say, of performance. It is, if you like, the trail we want to leave in the world. So in the book I recently published, which is called The Gift of Crisis, it's very relevant given our circumstances. I lay out a rather simple model which involves purpose and crisis. And the first step of this model is that we take crisis as an opportunity to revisit, to recommit to, or even to renew our purpose. And this applies both to companies, but also to governments, to states. The second step is to get this purpose and combine it with the global problems that the world faces today. And for me, in my opinion, there are three basic global problems. Number one is the potential destruction of the planet. Number two is health, mortality, and on the flip side, longevity. And number three is the inequality and injustice. So the third step, after defining your purpose and getting on board a global problem, if you want to think big, is to incorporate in the business model. And I'm saying that it's quite important because many people, many companies, they do charity. They give money, right? In my opinion, this is not enough. You need to incorporate the purpose into your strategy. And number four is you rigorously innovate, especially in white spaces and using high-end technology, sometimes in new ways. Now, in that respect, if you follow these basic principles, you can expect competitive advantage, superior performance, sometimes exceptional performance, and the most important of all, a better planet. Now, to come to the question, some examples of big companies that follow these principles, you can think about Tesla, which the initial purpose was to reduce CO2 emissions by solar energy, by cars, by batteries, and the like. Another big company is Intel. Their purpose is to produce world-changing technology to enrich people's lives, and in that sense, they identify, they train, and finally they deploy refugees to become coders. And a third example is Nike, with a very, very strong stance on inequality and actions that they are following that, not to mention Danone, a global food giant, that they were very well known about their social and environmental sensitivities, but now, very recently, they commit themselves into getting a certificate of a B Corp for profit, which means a very scrutinized control of a list of activities that they need to do on the environment, on the social space. And I want to mention some smaller companies that they're following purpose and they're following these principles. And one of them is Beyond Meat, that they are trying to, a company which tries to replace meat protein with plant-based protein. Also Patagonia, a company of apparel that are very well known for their corporate activism for climate change. And even some designers like Stella McCartney, that they stop producing animal furs. Now, some numbers, because we need to support what we say with numbers, right? So 60% of consumer purchasing decisions are belief-based. So now consumers are not buying just performance, luxury, quality. They buy also an idea, right? The second piece of evidence and numbers is that according to research, companies that are pioneering in diversity, they report 32% more return on equity than others. And the last number is that employees that they are working for purpose-driven companies, they are 4 times more engaged, more productive, more creative, and they're happier.